The subconscious mind controls 90% of our behaviours, habits and actions.
It starts in the mind. So it's not about you think about it and it comes. Like, that's where the first thought is. That's where the first thing is that you actually think about. It's like it starts here. Hi, and welcome back to the Mindset and Marketing Podcast. My name is Matthew Toman, and I am your co-host for today's show, joined with
Sharon Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, so we've had a couple of technical issues for the past flipping 20 minutes, more probably. Getting into it now.
Our faces give it away.
I know. I get so frustrated whenever it's technical. I was sitting patiently waiting on Sharon, going like, okay, any chance you could hurry up? And then I go to hit record and it won't record on my end either.
I was like, thank goodness.
I know. I was probably freaking out there a bit because I was like, why is this not going? Because I'm not technical at all. How's things with you? What's going on? Happy Easter.
Oh my goodness. You didn't say, welcome to the Mindset and Marketing Podcast, where we discuss all things marketing and all things mindset. Two of the most important things that you need to master in life to achieve everything that you want.
Well, I want you to do it. Yeah. I do think it's like, I listen to this podcast religiously, right? I listen to podcasts religiously, and I can remember they always said I can remember saying, why do they repeat the start of that over and over? I'll never forget it. I will never forget it. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, do you want to know what? As annoying as that is, it's good to know. You know, it is good to know.
It's obviously in my head. Now I didn't deliver it as well, because I was thinking about it, but I think that was mostly what you said.
You definitely didn't. Yeah, you didn't.
Maybe I'm going to practice it.
You
for
practice
next time.
it now, yeah, big time. What are you up to? What have you been doing?
I had a busy wee week. Went over to England to see my wee niece and nephew because so Ilaria is going to be 7 next weekend, but when this comes out, she'll be 7 that weekend. And I couldn't get over because we've loads on. So I went over early and surprised her and her wee brother, who's 2, Elsie. So they were all biz. She was
very
like,
good.
Auntie! Thought
she
it was the best thing ever.
To see you. Yeah. Are they going to the wedding tomorrow?
No, they're not. So that's why. The wedding's the reason I couldn't get there. So my cousin's getting married in Wales, so the whole family's flying over on Tuesday, but the kids aren't invited, which I totally get for a wedding, because if I ever get married, kids can't come.
No, definitely not. I think parents will like that as well, though.
I know, it gives them a break, because then they can just get a babysitter.
Providing they can get a babysitter, yeah. Providing they can get a babysitter. But I had a good. How was England? It was good then, yeah.
Yeah, so they were all busy to see me, and for Ilaria's birthday present, because she's got a million toys, she doesn't need anything else. I was trying to get her something, and she loves going away, so I booked a wee hotel night for her and I, just the two of us, and it had a pool, so she was all biz and done lots of activities like bowling and all of that. But one dramatic thing happened, because there's like this huge big soft play area with trampolines and like big beams and everything for kids to play on, but adults can go in because they have to supervise their kids. And so me and my brother took the 2 kids, and there was like, you know, in Gladiators where they have that podium.
Yeah.
And then you get a big beam that you have to use to hit the person off. Well, that's what we were doing, me and my brother. And like, there's no helmets or anything in this because it's for kids. And he just grabbed this big beam and just whacked me full face. Like, it just smacked the whole side of my face, and it felt like a million punches. I've never been punched in the face before, but now I know what it feels like. And immediately started bleeding. There's a bit on my nose, if you can see it.
Oh my
still
God.
There. Makeup's covering the rest.
Was he sorry?
But, well, this is the thing, because he was like, immediately went, oh shit. And I went, Johnny, you just know there's no faces. And he's like, oh, I didn't realise. And it took me a second, because it was kind of shook, And because he was so shocked, he was kind of like he wasn't kind of thinking of the game still, whereas I was still, I've got nothing to lose, I need to win this game. So I just kind of got the beam and whacked him, and then
Oh.
he fell off. So I still won.
Well, that's important. Yeah, you can take a good beating for that.
Yeah. So so that was vibes. Just loads of time with kids, and like literally all my time with kids. But it was good fun, and we did like Easter egg hunts and all that. Here, speaking of which, when you were young and at Easter, what did you get for Easter?
An Easter egg that was usually in a cup,
Right?
like a crunchy, or like I got like a mug,
Oh,
like a
yeah.
Mars bar, or like a toffee crisp. What are the ones that I love? We got loads actually, because everybody bought them. You know what our family's like for buying things.
I know. Well, your mum actually I came home to an Easter egg that your mum had bought me.
She sent me a photograph and said, "There's an Easter egg here for you for whenever you come back at Christmas." I was like, "Well, I'll be back before then, but yeah, thanks."
Well, well, do you know what they got? So the morning started with an Easter egg hunt. So in the house, so they went around the house looking for chocolates, got like 10 bits of chocolate. One was an Easter egg. Then there was an Easter egg hunt in the garden with all wee mini eggs. So they got another 13 mini small eggs each.
Okay.
Then their granny came with a basket of eggs and toys. Then at the end of the day, they got presents to unwrap from the Easter bunny.
Oh no, that's what. Well, I saw a guy who has like 6 children. This guy that I follow, he's an actor in Dublin. He's only like 30 or something, but he's got loads of kids. Him and his wife, they're both of them are flipping gorgeous, and they just keep having children. But he was saying yesterday he thinks it's going to end up being like Christmas, because it's like a Easter bunny you go and get your photograph taken with sitting on his knee. And I was like, oh my God, it's just another marketing ploy. It's exactly what we talk about. It's like once you sort of, all the brands can then get they used to celebrate Christmas in July in Australia. Christmas in July because it's like the winter time. But it's like a Christmas in another year, early in the year.
I
Like
couldn't
March,
believe
April.
it. I was like,
Yeah.
we got like a couple of eggs and then some from your aunts and uncles. And then I put my foot in it because Ilaria said to me, "Oh, Auntie, you didn't get an Easter egg." I said, "Oh, the Easter bunny, doesn't come to the adults, but I did get an Easter egg from your nanny, my mum." And then Johnny went, "What? I didn't get an Easter egg?" So then
Oh
it
yeah,
started
you
World War
sometimes
Three.
forget that Johnny's like flipping 12. Do you know what I mean? You think that like he's under the pretense that he's like an adult. Do you know what I mean? With his own children.
Oh my gosh, he's nuts. But anyway, how was yours?
Good week. What did I get up to? Quiet weekend. Just a quiet weekend. Normal dinners, gym, all that kind of stuff. Loads of work with Bankhouse. Loving it. Loving onboarding clients this week. Working with people in the Mindset and Marketing Academy. So close to launching our new movie. We were doing all the copy and had to do some videos around it. What else? Just been working away. It's been good. Started on second term of my comedy improv, which was actually really good. I loved it. And there's new people in my class, so I was really nervous getting up and talking in front of them. But done it. It's good fun. And then have to write 2 new pieces now for tomorrow night, which I've already written.
Wow, that's quite quick. Oh, right, okay. What are they about, or can you not
One's
share
about
that
my
yet?
mum. One's about my mum. And then the other one's about my friend Biddy, who was over here from Ireland for like a month. She's a very funny character because
Okay.
I'm actually writing a full 30 minutes. So I've got one set, the opening, then I've got Biddy, it goes into my mum, and then I've got 2 more, and then I'm going to film it. Got like a 30-minute set that I want to film, record like.
Nice. Watch his space then.
Well, I want to do it
Can't
just
wait.
for myself. Planning now the rest of the year. Well, I've already got it loosely planned, but booking now the rest of the year. So I'm going to Chicago in like 3 weeks. Then I'm going to Japan for a holiday. Then I'm back in Ireland for Rachel's birthday. And then me and Donna have just booked to go to Portugal for like a 10-day, 5-star, no phone. I'm going to have a no phone situation. God, you could be in. What's your dates or your holiday? We'll talk about that after actually. Have you got a holiday booked for June?
Well, no, just a few gigs. Quite a few gigs.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's all good.
So-
No, July. Have you got anything booked for July? No,
No.
so it's like I'm going to think with Donna just for like a 10-day switch off. We booked a really, really nice place.
More?
Algarve in Portugal.
Nice.
And then just plan. Then I'm going to go to Lisbon and get a house for the summer. So
Here, in America, do they celebrate Easter the way that we do over here?
no, I haven't had any chocolate. Like, I mean, I was in the gym yesterday. It was rammed, and like it's Easter Monday. I'm going to the gym today. So no, I don't think so. I called around to one of my friends. My friend actually wanted to cook dinner. She's a celebrity chef. Her food is so good. She cooks for Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt. Her food is like the next level. But then one of the girls was meant to go, got sick, so I didn't mind. I had a full weekend of just like chilling out in the house. Went to see a load of movies. Seen this movie called Femme. It's on Netflix. You should watch it. It was brilliant. And then there was a Q&A with the directors and the lead actor afterwards. What else did I go and see? Went to see this other brilliant film in the cinema last week. Forget what it's called though. It was really good.
Well, that's helpful.
I know. Sorry about that. I can't remember. This woman's a bodybuilder in it. And the other girl is the girl from Twilight. What do you call her? Kirsten or something, is it?
Kristen Stewart.
Kirsten Stewart. Yeah, Kristen Stewart or whatever. So she's in it. It's actually really, really good. It's brilliant.
Okay. Well, then we could probably find it. If we Google Kirsten Stewart.
You'll find it if you get those, yeah. And then just up early, working, loving life.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, should we jump in then?
Yep, I'm looking forward to talking about today's topic because it's really, really important. And even though I said the other two things are the most important, mindset and marketing, this actually is where it all starts, in my opinion.
Well, it's part of the mindset, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So today's topic is manifestation.
Before you switch off.
Yeah. Because I agree with you if you're about to switch off because, well, I used to agree with you, but I always thought, piss off. Like, if it just thinks something that's going to come, okay, dead on, no worries. But it was whenever then you sat down and really understood kind of like the science behind it, and looked into it more, you kind of realized, well, that actually completely makes sense. So most of the time people think it's an airy-fairy term, that is just bullshit.
The people who believe it though don't care about the science.
But it's important. Well, the people that believe it we don't care about them listening to this. It's the people like me that at the start were like,
yeah,
nah, that's not worth putting any time into. But really, it actually, when you look at it all, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So it is worth pausing from switching off if you think it's an airy-fairy comment or statement, because really it's not. So we wanted to kind of debunk that myth for anybody out there who's maybe feeling the way I was feeling about it before, because there is power to it.
Oh, absolutely. Like the way that I look at it about can you just think of something and it comes? The way that I position that is it starts in the mind. So it's not about you think about it and it comes. Like that's where the first thought is. That's where the first thing is that you actually think about. It's like it starts here. That's where the process is. And that goes for negative things as well. Oh my God, they're going to cheat on me. Oh my God, I'm not going to have enough money at the end of the month. Oh my God, I'm not going to be able to go on holidays this year. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. That is manifesting. That's like it starts in the mind, and is what will come into your life. So mine is like, I want to live in LA, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's what then it all kicks off from there.
And that's valid because stats are back this week. And there is a stat that says the subconscious mind controls 90% of our behaviors, habits, and actions. So you're thinking all this stuff in your head subconsciously as well, which the subconscious ones that you don't even really think about or know about or take note of are the ones that's actually controlling your behaviors, your habits, and your actions. So if you are thinking those things, that is going to impact what happens then outside of that.
Yeah.
So it's so you're right. It's not, it is all about going back to how the mind works. What you're thinking and feeling is actually then what becomes your reality. Now, obviously, if you say, oh shit, I'm going to get fired, you might not get fired the next day, and it might be a while before you get fired. But if you think about that negative thought, you're going to be approaching your every day in work like stressed out, worried, insecure, no confidence. All of those things that you're thinking because you've thought you're going to get fired is going to impact how you feel about going into work every day. And if you don't feel empowered, confident, able to, just smash the day, you're the outcomes of that day are going to be far less than what they would have been if you had approached that day saying, I'm going to succeed, or I am succeeding, this is brilliant, look how well I've done, look at all those things I've achieved, let's achieve this now in the future because I know this. It makes sense.
I know that I just said there earlier, like I'm loving life. I am actually really enjoying.
You just send that so you manifest it?
I think at one point I probably did. Yeah, I think at one point I probably was like, I was loving life and there wasn't a lot to love. I was just grateful for the fact that I was able to like get on with it. But I forget to manifest. I'm not going to lie. I forget to. And it wasn't in my last trip to Northern Ireland. I was there for 4 months. Like that's so long to be there, in Northern Ireland.
Matthew, we live here. What are you saying about all the people who live in Northern Ireland?
Well, I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about Northern Ireland. I'm talking about having so much exposure to like family, like friends, dramas, situations that have nothing to do with me, that are just like input into my brain, and they're nothing to do with me at all. But by default, because I'm there, they're like in my life, and then I'm trying to fix them and trying to do all that. Like, so that brings my head into like a really negative space because I'm thinking about like the situation that I'm dealing with, someone else's situation, and then I'm like, oh my God. So by default, my own life started to become tougher,
Yeah.
And it was so weird because whenever I came out here, I was like, hey, I was going to rent a car, and I was just thinking, my apartment is unreal. The car that they gave me was like brand new. It had 900 miles on it. I was like, do you want to know what? It's so weird. The sun was shining, all these things. And I was like, yeah, this is actually how my life is usually. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm usually like just get the car park space, get the best car, have the most class apartments. That is how my life is because I manifest it all the time because I am loving life and it's showing me it back.
And the thing is, you probably say you forget, but you've probably mastered the technique of automatically doing it now as well. Do you know what I mean? So you don't really have to think about it as much as other people who are maybe new to it or whatever would have to, because it's not a case, like it does take work. It's not a case where you just start thinking every day, oh, gonna get that job. Oh, gonna get that job.
No, but
that's part of it. But
people who struggle at this, right, do not believe that it's possible to achieve the stuff that they want. That's the problem. They've got limiting beliefs around themselves. Even though they're saying, like the documentary we're working on, it's like the biggest thing we've done. Like, and I manifested that I said, God, I want to get back into film. I want to do another documentary. Within about 3 days, this presented itself. So it's weird the way that it happens. But like, yeah, I'm very in tune with it. But I know that I can do it. Whatever I manifest comes at me. I have belief in myself that I will be able to deliver on it.
But also on that point, because you did say that, and then you started taking action too to get that. Like you had reached out to, is this not true? Where you had reached out to someone and just because you kind of thought there could be a potential there, and then
the one that we're doing now,
it snowballed.
Well, the one that we're doing now came as like a 9:30 at night phone call saying, Matt, where are you next Tuesday? Is there any way you could do a film in a sizzle reel for me? And I was like, yeah, 100%. Quoted it over the phone, got sign off, booked in a videographer and went down. And then, right, I was booked for that one day as a videographer to record stuff. Then I was like, okay, got the interviews, started really putting it in as if I was producing this into a documentary, started to get extra stuff that I needed on the day, because I thought to myself, okay, this is an amazing opportunity. I need to make sure that we get this. Then sat down with the editor. He done an amazing first draft of the sizzle reel. I was like, let's change this, let's change that. Then sent it to them and blew their trunks off. They were like, wow. So yes, the call came randomly from a manifestation, but then I worked like crazy to make myself indispensable.
Yeah, because this is the thing. Like, it's not just you think it or you dream it and it'll come. It's basically you think what you want. So you're asking the universe what you want, and then you work towards that goal every day until it becomes your reality. So it's not a case where you just think it once and then it'll happen the next day. That's not what it is. You have to think it, you have to believe it, and you have to take steps to kind of help, achieve that. So it's like you build it in your mind first, then you start to build it in the physical world. There's kind of two kind of step. Yeah.
I always say like there's things present. Or sorry, going ahead. I know you're about to go into something there. I just think that like how you do that, just to elaborate on what Sharon was saying there, is so whenever something presents itself, if you want to, whatever it may be, say you want something and then the opportunity presents itself, does it bring you closer to achieving that, or does it bring you further away? Because we've all been guilty of it, and I have been in the past. I'm not as bad now. I'm really not. I can say that. I'm still a little bit, but very, very little. But, if something presents itself, does that bring me... We're all moving further away from what we actually want. For years, I was moving further away from what I wanted.
And it's so, I think about me getting this house, right? And I go back to before I got this house, a few years before I got this house. Just met Rachel, obviously, and we were... Like, I was pretty much struggling all the time. Like, just my money was just coming in and going out. So it was down to zero every month. And then I met Rachel. And like, we were talking about renting somewhere. And I was stressing out about even being able to rent somewhere. Because I had just been stupid with money in the past, and had credit cards, loans, all this stuff that I was paying off. And I really wanted to rent, like move in with Rachel and just rent, and I was already stressed and like having an emotional breakdown.
It's about so being mad for me to hear this, right? By the way, I can't know this story, but to hear it out loud, to know you now, it's so weird.
Yeah, like, well, but then, so I was like going, oh my God, like, how can I even afford to rent a place and with Rachel? And the answer was looking like no. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I had to like just try and figure out a plan to like get renting. And when I was going through that, my brain was so upset and stressed that I couldn't commit to this, and it was really annoying me. And the other part of my brain was like, but I know that we are going to have an amazing house. It's going to have everything that we want. It's going to be brand new. It's going to have all the best features. I don't know where I got that from, because at that time there was no hope. But I think that gave me the trigger to kind of go, right, well, what do you want, with your future? And that's what we wanted. And from there, so still earning the same money, still all the same debts, started then like thinking about this dream home that we would have, and we now thankfully have. And so started creating a spreadsheet, started like then paying off more towards this, moved in with my mum for a bit so that it would be lower so I could pay things off quicker, get the house that we want. Basically, all those things made me then, the goal I had made me start taking small actions. It was a bloody spreadsheet, right? But it was enough to change the trajectory to where I wanted to go. And then fast forward to when I actually bought my house, or our house, when we bought it, we got more than we wanted, and we spent about 40 grand on mod cons for the bloody house, going from crying about paying rent.
Sharon's house is beautiful, by the way. It's the best site. It backs onto like there's a gorgeous big oak tree in your garden. It backs onto like a place that's never ever going to be developed. Do you know what I mean? It's got like, it's really, really nice. It's beautiful and detached, really cool. But
I literally, I just knew, and I believed that we would get that house, because I just knew that's what we needed and what we wanted for our future. And then
Yeah.
that's whenever I started kind of, when I had that goal, created all, we'll get into it, but all the wee goals around that, and just change my mindset. You know, stop thinking about the bills and start thinking about how I'm going to have more money.
Absolutely, because whenever you're thinking about, oh my God, I'm in so much debt, then it's going to bring you more debt. Oh my God, I can't pay my car loan, then you can't pay your car loan. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Don't know who said that, but it's really, really true.
Maybe you could claim it.
No, I can't. I don't claim any quotes. I don't make any quotes up, but I say a lot of them. I don't claim any for myself. And maybe do I? Which ones? None. No. They've all been said. They've all been regurgitated.
No, hold on.
The thing is,
There's one I always thought that you came up with.
my favourite one is my friend Alex. I told him the other day, can I borrow it? It's like he said, whenever he's talking about somebody, he's talking about his clients, he said they have more issues than a box of tissues. Like, I don't even know what that means. It is funny.
But it rhymes, so it's a winner.
He says it and then roars laughing. Like, he's not saying, he's flipping hilarious. He's one of the funniest people I've met.
Because I feel like tissues don't really have any issues.
Maybe the issues come from the box of tissues. I don't know. Maybe the tissues are solving the issues. I don't know. But he's funny. But the thing is, it's like, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You know what I mean? I'm in mountains of debt. Oh, I'm paying everything off. Like, it's been a tough few years for businesses. I had lunch over the weekend with one of my really good friends who has a massive business. She really, really has a huge, huge business. And for a couple of years, it took a bit of a dip, you know, to the point where she's like, oh no, what's going to happen? And I'm talking like a multi-7-figure business yearly. And she was saying that now it's back. You know, they've been working it for years and trying different things. But she is insanely big on manifesting. Like, insanely big.
Yeah.
She lost 3 stone the other day, over 2 stone. Whenever I met her, I was like, holy God. She was on Ozempic though. She did admit to me, and she won't mind me saying, like, but she's absolutely loving it. She looks brilliant. Her business is flying. And we had some laugh on Saturday. We had lunch, but she would probably be one of the biggest manifestors that I know.
Yeah.
Like, she's wrote books on it. She wrote books on manifesting.
Manifestation. Manifesting.
Yeah, manifesting.
That's their word.
Yeah, so but the thing is, it is real. It does happen, but you do have to take action to making those things become a reality.
Well, like, that's one of those things. If you look at, you know, people who are still thinking, does it work, does it not work? Well, then some of the, like, if not the best athletes in the world are Olympians. Like, they're like at the peak of all kind of fitness, whatever, you know, they have to work so hard to get there. And then there was a stat that came up there that said that 70% of Olympians in their training, they practice manifestation. Like 70% of them, because they know it works.
There was a guy, he was meant to have an MMA fight. He's from Dublin, based in Belfast, and he had a really bad accident and broke his neck, and the doctors have said that he won't walk again. He's in his 20s, you know, he's got a young family, really, really talented guy. And literally, I read a post this morning where there's a video of him lying in bed, right, where he's actually got his legs up on a cycling machine and he's cycling. And he said, the doctors told me I was never going to work again. He said, yeah, no worries, I've got it from here, don't worry about that. And he's now, like, he said he couldn't even blink.
Wow.
Couldn't move a single thing. He was in neck brace, couldn't move his hands. He's now moving his hands, he's texting again. He was able to get his legs cycling. He said he couldn't even move his toes. I am so excited to see, because he's really, really big on manifesting. And it's like,
that's crazy.
I sent him a message. I was like, dude, I can't believe, you know, do you know, follow Joe Dispenza? He's another guy who really, he broke his back and knitted it together with his mind, he claims. And I do his meditations. And even whenever I done Joe Dispenza's meditation 2020, it only turned 2020. And I can remember thinking to myself, why am I so bored? I had the office in Temple Bar. The businesses were doing brilliant. Had the cottage down in Sandymount. Just bought a new Jeep, like, loving life, right? But I was home every night, like, I'm bored. You know, there's more to life. What's going on? And for me, it was like I had forgot that I had achieved everything I set out to. Everything I said in 2012 the house, the area they want to live in, the car I want to have, the office staff, business, growth, all that stuff. And then I was like, oh no. So I said, I haven't set goals and I haven't been meditating and I haven't been manifesting. I done one session with like Joe Dispenza's meditation. It's unreal. And I ended up waking up coming out of it after, was like, oh my God, I need to be in the States. Went into the office that day, took action, filled out the form for my visa myself, paid $150, got my interview the next morning with the American Embassy and got my passport sent away and my visa in 7 days for a 5-year visa. I booked my flights and was moving on the 1st of May, but then the world shut down. So, you know, but it's weird that like whenever you do switch off whenever you tap into the subconscious, you find out what you want.
Yeah. And, you know, for people who are, you know, listening to this as well and thinking just that example you give about the guy in hospital who was told he couldn't walk again, and then Joe Dispenza who said he knitted his, you know, back, did you say her neck back together? Like, okay, that seems a bit, you could say, well, you know, this and that, but like if you think about it as a less intense version and you think about which all like medical, like pharmacies, science, like whatever you want to call it, they all do this. They all create like treatment or medicine or whatever that has to be tried and tested. And whenever they're doing those trials and those tests, they put in like, they'll give some applicants like the real drug, and then they'll give other applicants like the fake one, and that's like the placebo drug. So there's nothing in it, and they have to just test it and see, you know, does it work, does it not work? And like within those studies, there's still like a lot of the people who get the placebo drug that still have noticed changes.
Oh, absolutely.
So the medicine hasn't fixed them, but their mind, because they think they're getting the medicine, has fixed them.
Look, I think the mind is the most powerful thing that we have, you know, and it's like one of the reasons why I stopped drinking alcohol was because I felt that it had control of my mind more than anything.
Yeah.
You know, it brought negative thoughts into my life. Really, really not productive, negative thoughts. And that's one thing that I felt like if someone asked me what's the benefits of stopping drinking alcohol, I would say I've got control of my emotions. They're mine now. I can make decisions that I want, and they're not influenced by another thing. Too much sugar, too much, whatever it is in it that triggers them. You know, it's all rational. You know, drinking your greens, having a healthy diet, thinking in your mind what it is you want, believing that you can achieve it, and then setting out, first of all, starting in the mind and saying, I know I can have this, you know? So.
And that's the thing. It is so hard to do that, you know, to believe in that you can achieve it. It is difficult. Like there's certain things that, you know, I potentially want in life or do want in life that I can't manifest yet because I haven't put the work in to making them become a reality.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of like, I can't believe them enough to get them. So I need to put the work in to be able to believe them. Whereas, and that's maybe because deep down when I really do the work on it, I don't want them as much as I'm saying I want them, because when I did really want something, I was able to get it by doing that, you know. So, you know, it is, yeah.
What I used to do whenever I had the office in Temple Bar, and the people who worked for me at that time before you were here, I used to have my goals, what I wanted to achieve in my life, for my family, my business, all that kind of stuff. I used to print them out and give them to the team. I'd be like, here's my goals for the year. If you can help these come into my life faster, just mark off what you can assist with. Which was like a bit flipping weird. But I said I encourage you to do the same. You know,
what if they gave you one back and said, here's the goals that I want to achieve, if you can assist with it?
Give them to me. There's a good chance that I can. I can pretty much make anything flipping happen. I truly believe that I can make anything happen. You know?
Yeah.
I really, really do. For myself, and if other people are prepared to put the work in for other people.
That's the thing. You have to put the work in, you know.
And you have to know what it is you want. Yeah. So let's look and see, because I know you've got some tools there on how to do this.
Well, yeah. So basically for anybody who's kind of maybe not done it before or now wanting to try it out. So the kind of general method for kind of achieving this stuff goes like this. Number one, decide what you want. And that's a big one because, of course, you can say what you want, but you really have to know that it is what you want. Because if you don't deep down truly want it, you're not going to put the work in or believe that that's going to be your reality. So that's the first thing. Then what you do is, number two, is start small. So I wish to own a Ferrari, or I want a Ferrari, right? So, okay, that's the end goal. So what you need to do then is start small with your goals to kind of achieving that. So what does that look like, those goals? So it could be, goal number one could be start researching the best Ferrari out there that you want and all that. Goal number two could be take a test drive in a Ferrari so that you can feel what it's like to drive it, feel what it's like to go around in it. Goal three could be start telling your friends about this Ferrari that you're going to be getting or that you're hoping that you're going to have, and so on and so forth, right? So start the small goals that will lead to that main goal. Then three is take action. So you should be taking action when you create those small goals, and you should be trying to complete a goal every day that will lead you up to that main goal. Then focus on the future. So you're doing all these things now. So you're creating these small goals to get to the big goal. Then you need to think beyond that. You need to visualize yourself, in the Ferrari. Or what trips are you taking? Who's going to be the first to get in the car with you? When you're on that, who's going with you to pick it up? What's it like when you're picking it up that day? All those kind of things. So think to the future and think of what it's like once you've got it and once you've achieved that. And then finally, you just gotta 100% believe that that's happening. But all of those steps should then give you that belief.
Yeah. And, the thing is, people will say, but how can I afford a Ferrari? I've only got a salary of like 28 grand, 31,000, 40,000, whatever it is. But you're listening to this podcast every week. We're telling you how to make more money. So there's opportunities presenting themselves in front of you that you're not taking them. Do you know what I mean? Like, listen to the podcasts, do the work, learn how to add more income into your life, learn how to add more value to other people, which will be returned with money. Then you can achieve everything that you set out to. The same thing as what I said at the start of every podcast. These are two things that will help you achieve everything that you set out to, or everything that you want to. You will be able to achieve those if you add more value and learn the skills. And then all you have to do is figure out what it is that you want and work it from there.
Yeah. And and to add to that, so a Ferrari is obviously a lot of money. Once you start doing those smaller steps, so once you start researching it, you're going to figure out straight away how much it costs if you don't already know. Once you take a test drive in it and you've spent that money on, doing that, and you get a feel for it, you're going to then know, you're going to want it even more, and you'll want it more than you did when you didn't. So, or when you didn't have the test drive. So you're going to be thinking, oh shit, right, okay, this is definitely the car for me. So, and I know how much it costs, and he's probably, if you then go to a garage or whatever, they'll probably tell you how much the plans could be to get that in terms of finance. And then you'll be like, right, I need to get this much money, and so on and so forth. Every little thing that you do, like every small action you take is the money for that one is going to be a part of that, So one of the goals will in the end have to be, how do I get more money to be able to give me that? Like, I think there was a thing that said, basically there's like the 3-3-3 method. So you write down your main goal, and you write down 3 goals that you want to achieve in life, and then you take 33 days and you write down one of your smaller goals to get up to that goal for the next 33 days and take action on it. And then you're going to see from the start to the end of those 33 days how much closer you are. If you haven't already achieved it, how much closer you are to being in a position to getting it.
And to drive a Ferrari or drive a Lamborghini, yes, it's expensive, but nowhere near as much as you think it's going to cost. You could lease a Ferrari for like $1,500 a month, $2,000 maybe, less probably in some instances. So as we say, like we always teach people, don't worry about making $100,000 a month. You know, $5,000 could change your life. And if you really wanted to drive Ferrari, you could spend $2,000 of that on a car. Do you know what I mean?
And that was just an example, because, you know, people probably who want a Ferrari maybe have a bit more disposable income, so they're just missing a bit more, you know, to get that. You know, if it was,
but that's
like
what I'm saying. It's so achievable to have a Lambo and a Ferrari and all those. Like, I used to be so attached to like those things, material things, to like, but it was my battle with like ego, I suppose, and like, who am I doing it for? You know, whenever I've had nice cars or whenever, there's so many other things that I value much more. One of my other friends is a really big manifester, and she was out in LA. She's just done a really big deal for one of her businesses, and she's looking for houses out here. And I brought her for a drive. I brought her up the hills just to show as a viewpoint that one of my friends lives at, and I wanted to show her it. As in, like, because you can see all of LA, and it's really nice, and it's easy to get to. I brought you to it, actually. And she's like, thank God you brought me up here, said Matthew, because I have been... She lived just right at the bottom of the Hollywood Hills at the minute, and she's like, she'd never been up them. She's like, you couldn't live up here. I was like, I know. I was like, everybody thinks they want to come and live in the Hollywood Hills, and I did live in the hills at one point. But after you're there, you're like, this road is doing my head in. The view's gorgeous, but driving up and down, and like you can't just go outside your door and walk, because you need like your rock climbing gear to get back up. You're like walking at that vertical. You're walking across like this. I can't stick it. So I was thinking, I know it's so good, but you can't even walk outside your door and go and have something to eat. So by the time you visualize and work towards getting something, you might get there and be like, actually, do you want to know what? It wasn't for me. To move on to like something else, you know?
That's like what you said, you know, it's a big part of like that first point of deciding what you want and knowing what you want and believing what you want. Like, deciding what you want and knowing what you want are two completely different things. You know, so like that your friend there wanted to live in the hills, and then actually, so if she started kind of manifesting that in a way, and she went up to the hills, she would have went straight away. Actually, no, don't.
I know, she was up there once, yeah. But the vision boards for me are really, really big. I have had a vision board since 2010. Was whenever I got my first vision board, and I don't stick pictures on it. I save like things on my Instagram now that I really want, but I always just write things on it, you know, whether it's distribution or whatever. And I always tell that story about, and it wasn't until I was clearing my vision board in 2017 that I realized that at the start of 2016 I wrote in "stop drinking," and that was major for me, you know, because I stopped drinking. You know, so I find that everything on the vision board really does come true. Ashleen, one of our other clients, does like a feng shui vision board. Like
feng shui.
Feng shui. She was working on with one of our staff members, and oh my God, the stuff started coming real. It's just into her life like that. Her driving lessons, a new car, a new house. It's so weird whenever you start that. It ramps up really, really fast. So anybody who hasn't got a vision board, go into a YouTube video on vision boards and just start creating one, and start getting one today, because the thing is, it really, really does help. Like look, it's going to take you an hour, 2 hours. If it took you a day over the space of 2 weeks to put it together, why not? Why not? At the possibility that it might actually, you know, it might actually like happen. So why not?
Yeah, and that's so. Obviously, we talked about kind of the steps that you need to do in terms of manifesting, but the tools then to help you on that with that method is, like Matthew said, the vision boards one, or just visualization in itself. You know, just taking that time out, but you have to be good at kind of meditating and all for the visualization aspect of it. You know, taking that time out and just, you know, shutting everything else off and thinking about, you know, back to the Ferrari, the sound the engine makes, the colour you're going to have, that road you're driving down, you know, really taking that time to kind of visualise all of those elements. A big one as well, because as you mentioned at the start, Matthew, it's all about your mind. It's all about positive thinking, There's no room for negativity here, because the minute it creeps in, you've kind of lost a battle. So to help kind of keep you on track, you know, with the positivity side of things, said it before, but daily gratitude, you know, what are you grateful for today? Like, and write it down. Don't just think it, like take the time out to write it down. Positive affirmations every day, write them down, you know, just say, repeat all these positive words, positive phrases.
You're going to
in your
sound
head.
you're going to sound like a psychopath, you know, to yourself and to your friends and to your family. But I'm telling you now, it's like, if you really, really want to change your life and make it better, then do this stuff. Like, it's...
And I know this is a side note, right? But just because we're talking about writing things down and how much power that has, I've been trying to order something for about 4 weeks, and Matthew said to me, "Did you order it yet?" And I was like, "No." And he goes, "Why? Like, you're the most..." And I need it for work.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're the most organized person in the world." And I was like, I don't know why I haven't ordered it. And then he said, "I don't understand. Like, you write a list and then that's it. You've got it. You know what you're doing." And then I went, "Actually, I've never put it on the list." And that's just writing something down. Like, I know I have to get it, but
But you have came a long way. Like, Sharon was in like credit card debt, car loan debt, and couldn't pay them, to now like having her own house, organized, gorgeous convertible sports car, beautiful, like everything is great, and sends me like to the cent, like a weekly report of how much money we've made, how much is in the pipeline, how much is owed to us, what the potential work is going to be, what our forecast is for the next quarter. Like, I mean, whenever you were telling that story earlier about like whenever you were stuck like in, you know, in that thing where you didn't believe you were ever going to get out of debt, I can't even believe that. Do you know, I didn't know you then, but like...
And that was, how long have I had this house? 5. So that was 6.5 years ago.
That is crazy to me. 6.5 years ago to now where you're at.
Yeah.
In that short space of time. And actually is one of the reasons why I can live and do whatever I want, because it's had such a massive positive effect on my finances as well. Your skill set, you know?
Thanks.
No worries.
I'm glad this is recorded so that I can just play that over and over again.
I say it all the time anyway, you know, but you
No,
can use it
you
against
do.
me in court or whatever you need to.
On our documentary that we make one day.
I know. God, don't be saying that. Manifesting that.
No. But no, there's the tools. Write it down, visualize it. I also love that book, The Secret. So that's another recommendation. And The Evolution of Success.
The Evolution of Success is the best. It really, really is. You know,
because a guy who wrote The Secret.
Yeah, guys who are in The Secret, yeah, like Jack Canfield, Joe Vitale, Bob Doyle. Yeah, they're secret. And the thing about goals is Jack Canfield says something in The Evolution of Success that freaks me out. And that's why I always make sure that everybody around me has goals, because he says, if you don't have goals, you get used by people who do have goals. And because I have goals, like I have solid goals, I print them out, I give them to people, I don't feel guilty about it. But I encourage everybody else to do it, because I don't ever want to be the type of person that uses other people who don't have goals, right? Now, that sort of landed that way for me because I set so many goals, where really it's meant to land for the people who don't have goals to go and do them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's really just for that.
And it actually makes sense though, really, because I know we said use them, but technically, like, that sounds harsh, but really it's not meant harshly. It's just that that's the truth, you know.
I think he does mean it as in harsh, as in shock value. I think he does. I think he wants it to be harsh. I think he wants it to come across harsh, and he wants it to land for people, because do you want to know what? There's many brilliant lines in The Evolution of Success, but that's one that stood out for me.
Well, it makes sense if you if you think of, I'm just thinking, like, you work for a company, right? And you hate your job for whatever reason, right? And you're just there sitting frustrated. That company has goals. They have targets. They have things that they want to achieve, right? So they're working towards those goals. You're sitting there hating your job, like real stressed out, worried, sick, whatever it might be, or just not happy in it. And you don't have any goals around what you want your dream job to be, or, you know, and then setting the small steps into getting it. Of course, then you're being used by that company. Yes, you're getting paid by them, but you're doing what they need you to do. So they're still achieving their goals. you're sitting there miserable because you're not, you know, you haven't done any.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So just remember that. But yeah. So is that us for today, do you think? Or where are we at?
I think so, yeah. So basically, what was my takeaway? Let me see. Yeah, so basically it comes down to this: removing the negative thoughts, focusing on what you want. This changes how you go about your day. And then in the end, those changes will then impact and bring you closer to your goals and in turn achieving them. So,
Amen.
let's do the work.
Yeah, let's do it. I need to start manifesting more myself.
I've just inspired myself to also. That sounds dicky,
Daniel
but it
has
didn't mean
been
it like that.
manifesting Japan for so long, but it's great for me because I'm going too. I said I'm going to join you on that one. He just got tickets. He's going to Coachella next week, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
I need to think about what I want.
Yeah.
I'll get on it.
I know that's the thing, because you get to a point in your life whenever you actually achieve so much, you actually achieve all your things, and then you forget you have to check in and rewrite your goals, you know?
I know, because see, the biggest thing for me, I'm not really like, I'm not going to say it because you're going to contradict me. I was going to say I'm not like, I don't really want for much. Obviously, I know I get amazing holidays, I have a lovely house, I have a nice car. No, but pause, let me finish. So, because I've got all of those things, like you know what I want in life is just contentment. I just want to be content.
Yeah. I know, well,
I don't really want for much more than what I've got.
You've got a lot. It's good. It's amazing. You work very hard for it. You work very, very hard for the life that you have, so you should enjoy it and be grateful. But yeah, so that's us. We will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.